Hey folks, welcome to new Master That Lick lesson. Today I'm going to be looking at 5 awesome licks from Blues Saraceno. So let's get stuck in. Here's lick 1. So this first lick's from Cat Squirrel, which is off the Plaid album. It's doing a little breakdown bit when there's not much going on with the band and it's just Blues Saraceno playing. And I started with this lick because it's kind of got a couple of the features that are prominent in Blues Saraceno's playing. Obviously it's kind of a bluesy use of scale use, so it's kind of like E pentatonic minors and blue notes here. But it's also playing in triplet eighths and wide vibrato. I also think he's probably playing this with his fingers because the notes kind of pop a little bit. And he will do certain things, particularly if he's wanting a bit more of a dynamic range, he'll play things with his fingers. So what we're doing here is we're up at E pentatonic minor at the 12th fret area. Yeah, I'm going to switch my fingers here, and I'm just holding my pick in the crook of my finger. And what he's going to do here is he starts off, it's kind of on the 8th of beat C here, but the little phrase is like a little bluesy phrase. And what I'm doing here is I'm playing 15, 14, 12 in the G string there. That very first note is your flat 5 interval. Really bluesy. And then what I'm going to do is do a pull off 15, 14, 12 on that G string. Then I'm going to play 14th fret of the D string, and I use my middle finger for this. Because what I will then want to do after that is play 14th fret of the G string after that. And this is a big part of Saraceno's playing. You would do this kind of jump to get that kind of to the 3rd tier, which is this next note, the 12th fret, the G string. So you do the pull off, 15, 14, 12. Then I'm doing 14 in the D, then 14 on that G string there. And I'm just using my thumb and index finger there. So when I do the string cross, I do thumb index finger. Yeah. Then I'll go back to 14 on the D string. Yeah. Then I'm going to go to 12th fret of that G string there, and I'm going to put a slight bend on it. Yeah, just in between that minor 3rd, major 3rd. So it adds that kind of bluesy flavour to it. Then what I'm going to do is pull off 14 to 12 in the D string. Yeah. Then I'm going to do a pull off 14 to 12 in the A string. Slide down to the 10th fret. And then this is what mirrors the kind of upper part of the lick. I'm going to do 12 on the E string, 12 on the A string. So it's the same as doing this. Just down an octave, back to 12 in the E string, and then 10 in the A string, and then end it with 12th fret, that root note on the E string there. But what he does here is he puts in a big wide vibrato, and what you're kind of hearing is him bending effectively up to that minor 3rd. Yeah, so his vibrato, Saraceno's vibrato is kind of legendary really, but that wide vibrato, you're really hitting like a bluesy kind of note in it. Yeah, so slowly it kind of goes. Yeah. And as I mentioned, the timing of this is all in triplets, so it's all that kind of, once you've got this pickup note, it's all triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is a great little lick because obviously you could take your pick, play it down like A pentatonic minor. Yeah, and you can try it in any key you can want. Yeah. So that's the first lick from Cat Squirrel. Let's listen to lick 2. This lick's from Tommy Gun, which is also on the Plaid album. It's one of my favourite Saraceno tunes actually. And what we're doing again is we're in kind of E pentatonic minor here. But this is a cool little lick because it uses a little bit of the whammy bar, which Saraceno would use quite a bit, you know, some dives and things, but sometimes you use it for this vibrato that we've got here. And we've got used to little double stops. So what we're doing here is you think your E pentatonic minor up here, then you can go up to these notes here, and what he's going to do is a bend, slow bend, 17th fret the high E string there, a bit of vibrato at the end of that. Then I'm going to do 15, 17 on that high E string with the 1st and 3rd finger. Then you've got a little pre-bend released, So So what I'm doing there is I'm bending up a whole step, that 17th fret, picking it, releasing it and doing a pull off, and then I'll do 17, 15 in the B string. Yeah, but this is the cool bit about this. What I'm then going to do is, and if you think about this, this is my root note here, 17th fret, the B string there. So my minor third, the little bluesy note is 15th fret, that high E string there. That's the flat 7. Yeah. So this little double stop almost outlines kind of like the important chord tones you get like in an E7. Yeah. So that's your flat 7. That's your major third. So he bars at the 15th fret. So you get the minor 7 interval, flat 7, and a minor third, flat 3, and then he makes a major third there. And you get the whammy bar to give it a bit of a warble there. Then what he's going to do is take these little major. So I'm playing at the root note, 17th fret of the B string, and then my middle finger is playing 16th fret of the high E string there. So you've got a root and major third there. And you're going to move down chromatically. So you're at the 15th fret, 14th fret, so you're doing like a little D kind of major sound there. But he does it with the bar. Just to add a kind of little bit of the kind of bluesiness to it. So that's a really cool lick because it's these used to double stop. So if wherever you can see, you know, like a root note, so say it was here, that's it there. So I've got my flat 7 root note, minor third, major third. You can make a little, yeah. So that can have been incorporated in when you're doing that kind of E kind of bluesy stuff. So slowly, whole thing again, since like this. Yeah, let's listen to the next lick. For this lick, I'll go back to Saraceno's debut album, which was released when he was only 17, which is quite alarming. And the reason I picked this lick is in G kind of pentatonic minor, G blues again, but it's a great example of him incorporating in your typical bluesy extra notes with major thirds, flat 5s, 13th interval, that sort of thing. So what he's going to do here, if you think of playing like a G pentatonic minor up here, up at the 15th fret area, he starts with a big bend, 20th fret, that high E string there. Yeah, so I'm bending up a whole step there. Then I bend up and release. And then there's a quick 18th fret here in the high E string. And then 20th fret the B string. Now I'm playing that with the third and second fingers there because I want to kind of keep in this sort of position so I can move to the first finger at the 15th fret area. And you slide off that note at the 20th fret there. Then what you're going to do is a 15th fret bend in the B string. So what you're doing is you're bending up to that 6th interval there, like a 13th interval. Then what I'm going to do is play that. So what I'm kind of coming back from is that 5th and the flat 5. So it's the same as doing in your blues scale. It's just you're seeing the notes this way. Then I'm going to do a whole step up and down bend on that G string there. Actually, it's like a half step actually. Yeah, and then I slide up to the 16th fret. Okay, so that whole little bit opening bit kind of goes. Yeah, and I'm going to slide up here. Then I'm going to play 15, 17, 15 in the B string. So again, you're hearing that kind of major 6th, 13th interval. It's almost kind of mixing between like a pentatonic minor and major sort of thing here. Then I'm going to do a quick slide, 17 to 18 on that B string. And I'm going to come down, a really cool phrase. Yeah, so I'm playing 18, 17, 15 in the B string and then 18, 17, 15 on the G string. So you've got that major 6th in there, or 13th, then the flat 5, all amongst your kind of G bluesy sort of stuff. Then we have one of these one of his little favourite little kind of phrases. So I play 17th fret of the D string, then 17, 15 on that G string. And again, I do a little bend, bluesy bend, just as we saw in the first lick, you know, that little half step bend in the G string there, in the minor third, okay. Then I'm going to do 17, 15 on the D string, 17, 16, 15 in the A string, coming down that bluesy kind of idea, slide to the 13th fret and do a bend there, so it kind of goes, yeah. And then we have another kind of mirroring the upper part again. We'll do 15 in the E string, 15 on the A string, 15 in the E string again. And then I'm going to do 13, 14 in the A string there. So I'm doing that minor third to major third. And then I jump up to 12th fret the G string there for the root note to kind of end the lick. Okay. So that little bit from the slide, sounds like this. Yeah, that little 13, 14, you could either pick it or do a hammer on. Either kind of works, okay? So the whole lick slowly sounds like this. So it's a great lick because it has all these kind of bluesy elements to it. So you've got this general framework, you know, G pentatonic kind of minor there, but you can bring in the elements of the major third, major sixth, or 13th. And it gives that really kind of bluesy, kind of cool quality to it. Cool. Let's listen to the next lick. So this lick is from Friday's Walk, which is off the Plaid album. And this is a great example of Saraceno's kind of alternate picking. He's really clean, fast picking style. You know, blues Saraceno, you associate great tone, great vibrato, great bluesy licks, but people wouldn't associate him maybe with kind of fast alternate picking, maybe. But he can really, really pick when he needs to. And this is an example of a pattern that he kind of used as a exercise for his picking. And it's a really good pattern to work on the kind of string crossing. So what he's actually playing here is effectively a C Dorian thing. And the first little three notes are 8, 10, 12 in the A string. Okay, so I'm going to think of little groups of three here, little kind of 16th note triplets. So I've got 8, 10, 12 in the A string. And I've got 8 on the D string, and then 10, 12 in the A string. I've got 8, 10 in the D string, and then 12 on the A string. And then 8, 10, 12 on the D string. Yeah, so it's this cool little sequence. Little triplet pattern across the two strings there. And why it's such a cool picking kind of exercise is the string cross here, you've got a little outside pick there. And then an inside pick there. Yeah, so you're switching between the kind of two picking approaches you need when you're alternate picking across strings here. So this little pattern is a great little thing just to cycle on its own and get comfortable at speed before you attempt this kind of lick. Now what he does is he does this up in pairs of strings, so that's like the A and the D strings. Then he does the same pattern on the D and the G strings. Then he does the same pattern on the G and the B strings, but now instead of doing 8, 10, 12 in the B string, you do 8, 10, 11. And then in the top two strings, it's all 8, 10, 11. That's the way I would think about that, little pairs of strings. Yeah, and you can take that as an exercise out with this kind of lick, just to kind of get your picking chops up. Now once he gets to the top here, he's now going to do a 4-note pattern, so this gets a little bit more blazing, and he's using a wah on this as well, so you can hear the kind of wah coming in. Now fingering wise, because I've just done this, I like to use the same kind of fingers here, the first second and third finger. And what I'm going to do, patternize a descending groups of 4. So do 11, 10, 8 on the high E string, and then 11 in the B string. Then I'm going to do 10, 8 in the high E string, and then 11, 10 in the B string. Yeah, so you've kind of got little groups of 4 there. Then I'm going to do 8 in the high E string, and then 11, 10, 8 in the B string. Yeah. Yeah. And then from here, what he does is he does 10, 11, 8, 10 to get back to the start of the kind of lick again. So together, that's a kind of like, I guess that's a, is that a 16 note phrase? Yeah, 16 note phrase. It kind of goes. Just like that, okay? And he does that twice for 1 bar. Yeah, so you get 30-second notes, but 32 of them in the bar there. Yeah, and you do that twice, and at the very end, it sounds like he does 8, 10, 11, 8, and then you end with a unison bend. So I'm playing 8th fret the high E string with the first finger, and then a bend with the third finger, 11th fret the B string, until the notes are unison. With a bit of vibrato on that. Okay, so that whole lick kind of slowly sounds like this. Yeah, kind of like that. It's a tricky one for me to pick that personally, because I use a lot of economy picking in my kind of weird self-taught kind of style. So this bit here, I find really, really awkward. You know, so I'm going to kind of take that myself and use it as a little picking exercise, because I've not been working with picking for a wee while, but it's a great little thing. Yeah, and it just shows you how good Saraceno's pick control is, and that's why his style is, the notes are so clear, and he's got that nice punchy kind of groovy kind of style to his playing. So give it a shot, guys. Let's listen to the next lick. For our final lick, I'm going to be looking at an awesome bit of delay trickery from Stinky Kitty, which is off Hairpick. This is one of these things when you first hear it, you go, what on earth is going on there? And it's all to do with the delay setting that Saraceno's got here. So Stinky Kitty's about 102 BPM. So he's got the delay set up to repeat every 8th note, which is about 294 milliseconds. You're set on your delay pedal. But what he's doing is he's playing in triplets, 8th note triplets. So what you end up with the repeat is this kind of almost 16th note triplet kind of feel. Yeah. Now, if I switch off the delay for just now, what he's actually playing is these 8th note triplets, and the actual thing that he's playing, the original recording's a half step down, but I'll do it in standard tuning here. He plays 15th fret of the high E string. Yeah, and then he's going to do 18th fret of the B string. So if you're counting your tempo, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1 and 2 and yeah, and he has a whole bar of that. The other thing I'm doing here is I'm playing that with a staccato feel as well, so I'm not going, you know, and let it ring, because you want the notes to be distinct so you can hear the delay repeat of it as being an individual note. That's what he does in the first bar. Then the next bar, what he's going to do is 17 on the B string, 18 in the high E string, back to 17 in the B string. Yeah. Then he does 20 in the high E string, and then 17 in the B string twice. Yeah, you're thinking these little groups of 3, so it's, yeah. Then I'm going to do 17 in the B string again, 18 on the high string, 17 on the B string. And then I'm going to do 17 in the high E string, and then 17 twice in the B string. Yeah, so that kind of goes. Yeah, so that little bar kind of goes. And then what he does is he moves the note on the B string down a fret to 16th fret. So you do the whole thing again, but now you're playing 16th fret on the B string. Yeah. And then the last bar is this really cool sequence, which with the delay sounds really, really cool. Little groups of 3. I'm going to do 15, 17 in the high E string, 18 on the B string. Then I'm going to do 15 in the high E string, 15, 18 on the B string. So it goes. Yeah. Then I'm going to do 17 in the G string, 15 in the B and G string, like that. Yeah, so you've got this kind of little descending thing. And he ends it off with something a little bit weird. 17 in the D string, and in the G string twice. So it kind of goes. So that last bar, without any delay, sounds like this. Fingering wise, I'm kind of doing a little bit of rolling with the first finger. Okay. So with the delay, I'm going to put on a metronome to help with the timing. It sounds like this. Yeah. So that's it there. So the cool thing about that, you know, is you get all those really, really cool repeated notes, and as I said, all you're playing. Yeah. So that's it, guys. That's kind of 5 awesome blues Saraceno licks. So if you want access to the animated tab, the sound slice tab for this, so you can hear the kind of me playing the licks along with some animated tab, come over to the Master the Guitar Patreon group. You've got access to that. You'll also get access to the HELIX preset I created for this as well, and you'll get access to loads more material on there. I've got loads of kind of weekly workout technique lessons, and we'll be launching something soon as well for the study group as well. So loads of things on the Patreon group. Come on over and check it out. And of course, if this is your first time here, like when you want to keep up to date with new videos, please hit the subscribe button as well. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. Have fun with those licks. I'll see you soon.